abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a pet that will suit you just right. Now, Rainbow, my dear, I cannot express my delight. It's abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a pet that will suit you just right. Now, Rainbow, my dear, I cannot express my delight. It's abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a pet that will suit you just right. Now, Rainbow, my dear, I cannot express my delight. It's abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a pet that will suit you just right. Got it. I have so many wonderful ghettos. So many wonderful ghettos. Yeah. Turn on. Abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a pet that will suit you just right. Now, Rainbow, my dear, I cannot express my delight. It's abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a pet that will suit you just right. Now, Rainbow, my dear, I cannot express my delight. It's abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a pet that will suit you just right. Now, Rainbow, my dear, I cannot express my delight. It's abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a that will suit you just right. Now, Rainbow, my dear, I cannot express my delight. It's abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a pet that will suit you just right. Now, Rainbow, my dear, I cannot express my delight. It's abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a pet that will suit you just right. Now, Rainbow, my dear, I cannot express my delight. It's abundantly clear that somewhere out here is a pet that will suit you just right. Got it. I have so many wonderful ghetto, so many wonderful ghetto, yeah, ghetto, turn on, ghetto, ghetto, Jordan, now ghetto, I have so many wonderful ghetto, so many wonderful ghetto, yeah, ghetto,
Hello. Sorry for the long wind-up time. Having a bit of trouble today. Or, not really a bit of trouble, just taking a while to set stuff up. Can you guys hear me all right? I mean, you can probably hear me a lot better over here, but like, if I'm over here, can you hear me okay? Or should I turn it up a bit? I can boost the gain. Is this better or worse? Shut up, I'm listening to Mares. Alright, it's fine. Where's your wife, Roseluck? You know, okay, like, you're already gonna make me go on a tangent, but I got a new car recently. I was trying to come up with a name for it. It's like all red. I'm like, what kind of name can I give it that's pony, pony themed? And it dawned on me yesterday, like, Roseluck, like, of course. All right, anyway. So, bear with me on this one. You know how it goes. One of my panels always has to suck. I think this one, if I had to choose which one sucks, it'd probably be this one. It's just a bunch of random things I want to get off my chest. I don't have my... Yeah, you're not getting notifications. All right, good. Just have some like random assorted thoughts, things I wanted to say about some board projects. You guys are over there, so that's why I might look over there a lot. But that's why I have this other camera set up just for talking to you guys, like lean in and be like, hey, come on, let's get real, guys. Let's get real. Let's get real, guys. This is how I get around not having another person here. I have this tiny controller that I'm using to change all the camera stuff. Wait. Okay, I thought it stopped working, but I was pressing the wrong side of it. All right, board projects. So, how long do I have for this panel? An hour? So like 3 o'clock I'm done? Burp. Okay. So let me see here. Poor Bon. Yeah, we don't. Oh, 3:30? Oh, an hour and a half. Okay, perfect. Cool. And yeah, there's probably something more interesting going on the other side too if you want to do something fun. Lighting in here sucks because I had to turn everything down so you could actually see the screen, which might not even be worth it because I didn't have enough time to prepare the slides, but we'll work on it. Yeah, Bon was not able to make it this time. I am alone in my house. Brandon Kino and the other channel. If you don't know who Brandon is, you should be over there anyway. uh, anyway, board projects. Let's talk a bit about them. Bit of a disclaimer. I don't know if you can even read that. So here's a zoom up. Look at that. Pretty cool, huh? I'm good. I'm good. It's blurry. Yeah, that doesn't really matter. You don't even need to like see what's going on there. Oh, did that change the focus? Did that make it better or worse? Not blurry? This camera here that you're looking through is actually French Anon's camera. He left it at the cabin after Americon, and I tried to ship it back from him. And 2 weeks ago, I got it back in the mail. It got returned to sender because his PO box closed. Stop putting my fingers in front of it. All right. Wait, wrong button. That's the one. Yeah, I hope you guys liked Frenchie's panel, by the way. He really wanted to do one live. I think he got hooked on him after this last one, but after Americon. But unfortunately, with the change in the date, he wasn't able to do it. But yeah, I think there's some pretty cool stuff to get from it. He's a really great guy. He's really smart. So yeah, everyone give a hand to Frenchie, our little French friend. I hope we see more of him. He's around. He's just a little shy. Okay. Anyway, board projects. So disclaimer: this is all just stuff according to me. All my opinions are subjective, of course. And there are a lot of projects I'll be talking about or mentioning that I didn't have. It looks like Twilight saying all this. It's like you can only see the Twilight. There's a bunch of there are a bunch of board projects that I wasn't a part of. Either because, well, yeah, I just wasn't a part of. So I tried to fill in the gaps in my knowledge, but we'll see where. I just want to talk about this stuff. A little bit of background about myself. In college, I minored in leadership studies, and it's not as lame as it sounds. It's like sociology and the kind of a lot more of the theory behind leadership and what it is, the phenomenon of like social whatever and how it works. But sociology is also lame. Yeah, okay, whatever. Muted. Am I muted? I'm not muted. Oh, you're saying he's muting me. Okay. Sociology isn't socialism. Please post Crocs. I'm in shoes right now. I should switch into Crocs. And I've got like, man. All right, we're gonna hang out a little bit, but anyway. So I have some insights to leadership theory that I'd like to share surrounding all this stuff, because it's interesting how you see it come into play and the things that are happening and stuff. Post feet, hanging with perp. Does autism help with sociology? Sociology is just the study of like people interacting with each other, like society, the study of societies or whatever. Okay, that sounds like it could be an interesting panel for. Thanks. Let's see if we can live up to that. So, the age of projects. We've kind of come into this this project age on the My Little Pony board. If you look back. If you look back through the past 3 or 4 years, I mean, we've had tons of online cons. We've had Mayor come out of it. We've had the silver coin. What else? Mass-produced pony plushies. Uh, Anthology, AI redub, MLP plays, MLP sings. That's a bit that's a bit older, um, and we'll get to those. The Pony Preservation Project. So, after my theory is that the board, when the show ended, everything slowed down, and a few things happened. One of them, here, let me. One of the things that happened was I lost my train of thought. This is stuff that you should write down and put on a slide. Great job, Perp. The the one thing that happened is we lost a lot of people that were just like, I don't, bandwagoners. I'll just say it. I'm just saying it. Bandwagoners. We lost the bandwagoners. So we got less people on the board in general, but the people who are on here are all autistic enough to be like involved in, like, just get really, really passionate about ponies. Like, it's not just a side gig. It's not just like, oh yeah, I check the board every now and then. It's just like fun times. I'm just trolling, doing some fun stuff. No, it's like, if you're here, this is your life. Like, your life is consumed by pony, and that's that describes it. I mean, like, a lot of us, we've been around for a while, but now it's just us, and we're not thinned out by the lesser bandwagoners. I have nothing but pony in my life. Check the board every single day. I can't stay away. Where am I? Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, after the during the active days, like while the show was running, basically, especially like up to 2014, there was tons of stuff happening. The board was going fast. People were contributing and stuff. There were tons of things like MLP plays, MLP sings, 4chan Cup, a lot of like tiny things, but nothing really to the scale of the board projects that we see now. And again, this is according to what I've seen, and there's not. I've tried to lurk as much as I can, but there are gaps in my knowledge, and maybe it's just recency bias too. But anyway, do you think board projects would end if a new show came out that everyone likes? You mean like if Generation 6 happened and everyone loved it? Well, first off, that's never going to happen. I don't think we'll ever be able to universally enjoy a successor until maybe years down the line. What I'm saying is bronies are only getting richer and more autistic as time goes on. Eventually we'll have something that we like. Eventually we'll be up there. And we'll be getting catered to for nostalgia stuff or whatever. But we have a while to go until then. And even then it might still suck. I mean, like, you got Transformers movies coming out and stuff, and that's like, oh, nostalgia for the 80s. My Little Pony movies that would come out now would also kind of prey on that nostalgia for the 80s. But when we get into nostalgia for like the early 2010s, that's when that gets big, and it's already kind of starting to get big. We'll see more pony eventually, I think, but the internet is too different to allow fandoms to flourish again like in early 2010s. Exactly. I don't want to say lightning in a jar, but But that said, it'll never be the same as it was. But you also got to realize that there are a lot of things that are better. Like, take off your rose-tinted lenses or your nostalgia goggles, and we don't have the show airing anymore, but look at all the stuff that we've had in the past like 5 years that we didn't have in the past. I think there are like way too many factors to go into why we didn't have that before, but G4 was the nostalgic revival and interest for MLP. Yeah. The internet is too big to allow one fandom to dominate it again like before. It's too big and it's also too small. I mean, it's like 4 websites now, And they're all corporate mandated and yeah. What's your ideal reboot scenario, Perp? I mean, like, none of this is going to happen, but like, you got to think like, if they reboot it, what are they going to do? Are they going to continue from season 9? Are they going to continue from like at what point do they continue from? I think it would be amazing if they just like took the ideas and everything and did a straight up reboot. But then that's going to suck. Like there's always going to be something that we hate about it. It's never going to be the same. It'd be awesome if we got something great, but whatever. What's your opinion on the AI mayor threads? I'm gonna shelve that question for later. Let's get back to the task at hand. Okay, so there are 3 types of projects that, and again, like there's no official terminology for this, and I'm not saying that this needs to be the terminology. This is just how I see it in my head, how I've split it up. So we've got board projects, thread projects, and board adjacent projects. I'll go into explaining a bit more what they are, but board projects are basically what you would think. It's all on the board. Everything is managed through a thread and everything. Thread projects, there are actually 2 types of thread projects, but basically they're contained in a thread. I'll get to that part later. And board adjacent projects are projects that have a thread on the board, but they aren't run by the board necessarily. Like they're, the biggest example is Mayfair. It's not run by the board. Oh, hey Zippers. Are there any board projects that aren't contained in the thread? No, but let me explain what I mean. Okay, thread projects. So thread projects, there are 2 types of thread projects that I can think of. There are one-off projects, like for example, Terry Softmare, when she was created, it was just one thread. I'm calling this a board project because it's like something that people work together. Well, it's not a board project; it's a thread project. It was a thread. Everyone drew something one at a time and put it together to make this thread project. The Terry was the result. These thread projects are the kind of stuff. Again, like there are gaps in my knowledge, but thread projects are the kinds of things that you would see on old /MLP. The like MLP plays and stuff like that. Oh, but okay. Also, there are general projects, and these are projects that happen within a thread. But they're. I just breathed out, and now my glasses are all fogged up. Happen within a thread, or no, they're in a general. They're projects contained in a general. Like for example, the Bale reanimated intro, Friendship is Magic intro. That there wasn't like a separate thread made for that. It was just inside of the thing. I would count like the Game Jam. Wait, is the Game Jam panel later today? Oh, that's exciting. I'm excited for that. I really wish I could participate in that, but there's just way too much happening in all of these. Show us your Philtrum. I do not have a diminished Philtrum. My Philtrum is very... Someone in the Mayfair thread said I have a diminished Philtrum, and it's an indication of fetal alcohol poisoning. My mom is the type of person that won't eat beer battered fries because it has beer in the name. So okay, anyway. Thread projects like the merch anniversary. That's another. That's a general thread project, I would say. Valentine's dinner is a one-off thread project. Yeah, sorry, chat's kind of moving fast, and I had to like blow it up, so I don't have too long to look at it. Mean 6 general drawing collabs. Valentine's casual fan. The waifu dinner thread. All right. Anyway, so yeah, those are thread projects. I was going to say, I kind of consider the Game Jam a thread project, even though I had multiple threads. I mean, it's not like a general, and I think that's better because thread projects, you get a lot of visibility and participation in a short amount of time, and usually it's better. There again, like short-term projects. Really small, quick contributions, like, draw another part of a pony, or sing a song, or this or that. Keep it simple, keep it fast. Let's see. And while we're talking about threads, let's talk about threads a little bit. So, because threads in and of themselves can kind of be projects. And okay, let me share a story with you guys. Let me switch to the story time camera for this. So, the draw this pony MLP threads. I would call that a thread project, Wasn't Perp the redhead yesterday at Fallen Oaks? I would have to drive. Never mind. I'm not going to say how far away I am from Fallen Oaks, but no, that would be basically impossible. Slash MLP actually does a lot of stuff. Yes. Yeah. We've been busy. Yeah, I had to tilt my TV up so that you didn't see the reflection of the backyard and dox me somehow. Yeah, it wouldn't be too hard to dox me. I mean, we'll get to that later. Anyway. NHNB, I'd call that a board adjacent project. Actually, not really, but it's funny. There needs to be a balance between rules and direction projects and organic content, and that's what we're getting at. Thread projects don't need rules and direction, but board projects are something else. So the perfect. I was gonna go on a tangent. Don't give me a second tangent before I finish my first. Gmares. That is. I would consider Gmares and the TF2 server thread projects or board projects. Or board projects or board adjacent, and I'll get to that in a little bit. Probably more board adjacent, just because they're, by definition, it's stuff that's, I don't know. That's okay. We're gonna let's go back to this story. So, in the Mayfair threads, people are talking about worried about having embarrassing moments with people. If you told me that Slash MLP would organize an entire IRL con in 2017, I would say something like, MLP ever finishing something. Yeah. All right. I'm not looking at chat anymore. In fact, I'm gonna change cameras. I'm gonna no, this one. Yeah, that's one. So I just noticed this button. Comedy button. All right. So yeah, Numget funny story. Numget moment. Um, uh, my so my second my first con, kind of trying to like actually go and interact with the nons. I like went to meetups before then, but the first con where I actually tried to like interact with people from the board there, uh, I it was Everfree Northwest 2022. Yeah, 2022. And I went to I went to like the meetup. Everyone was standing there, and around that time, I was the OP of the Bale threads, and I was feeling like really ho hum about it. I was like, yeah, freaking love Bale, and I made these little like Bale business cards to hand out to people at the meetup thing. And so like kind of trying to casually bring up the fact that like, hey, I'm kind of a big deal, you know. I'm an OP of a whatever. I was like, so or just trying to start some conversation. I was like, so what threads do you guys hang around in? And people were like, oh, what? And one guy was like, you mean generals? You mean generals? And I was like, and I just shut up and I'm like, okay, all right. I'm sorry. Yeah, if you're here, screw you. Screw you, buddy. I was talking about like I don't know. I'm just trying to make conversation, man. Okay, yeah, but I don't know. Say what you want about generals. I think they're kind of a. You mean gemeralds? Perp, don't read this. Keep ranting. Oh, sorry. I would kill myself if that happened to me. Yeah, I was like. Luckily, I had a lot of fun there, and it got better. That guy's just a numget. There were a lot of people that were more fun to talk with. Okay. I've never met another brony, let alone another slash MLP anon. Well, see, the cool thing is that the people who are well adjusted enough to go outside and meet people are the only people that you'll end up meeting when you go out and meet them. So all the people that you meet from the board are actually pretty darn cool, because all the weirdos stay inside. I'm laughing at you. But no, like seriously, like the people that I met at conventions through board stuff, except for a couple cases here and there. I was gonna name a name. I'm not gonna name a name, but except for some people here and there, they're generally like the coolest people that you'll meet at those conventions. We all know who they are. He was gonna name me. No, I wasn't gonna name you. I don't think he's even here, because he's banned from here. Never mind. Anyway, Mayor Fair is literally normal, chill people. Come out and hang with us. Don't be shy. Yeah. No, Mayor Fair was a really cool con. It was time of my life. Probably like one of the best weekends of my life. Anyway, and you'll hear more about Mayor Fair in the Mayor Fair panel. That's after here. So yeah, let's get back to what's going on here. Let's get back to the task at Hoof. Okay, let's talk about threads. So there's a story that I read. I didn't read that. There's a story that I read, and I can't remember what it's from. So it was like years ago. So if you guys remember, let me know. But there was this boating guy. Here, let me. There's nothing to see there. let me switch back to this. There was this there's this river, right? And this is like some like fable or mythological thing. I don't know. But there's this boat and an old guy that paddles the boat, like a canoe or whatever, across this river. And there's a guy that comes up and wants to use it. Basically, okay, and the guy rowing the boat is like, "Oh, I'm so tired. Help me. I can't row anymore. Can you row for a little bit?" And so he hands him the oars. He takes the oars, and then suddenly he can't let go of the oars. He's stuck. And the guy who was rowing the boat is like, I've been stuck rowing this boat for 100 years. I'm finally free. And then he jumps up and runs away, and the next guy is stuck rowing the boat forever. And so anyway, that's what it's like being the OP of a thread. Because like all the OP has to do is post the next thread. Or post, okay, sorry, the OP of a general. A general, okay, guys? Sorry, guys. I'm sorry. So, yeah, I don't know if anyone recognizes that story. I really got to figure, Gemerald. I really got to figure out what that's from, because I think about it a lot. But yeah, like, so, I won't say which threads, but I've been generals. But I've been OP of a few generals. But if you want your comment in color, purpose legally required, delete, read it out loud. Use this info how you wish. Blurget. That's how everything looks through this freaking through these sunglasses. I mean, purpose the OP of JDB. I hide every thread with an Equestria Girls or a humanized thing in the OP. I just hide those. Even like OPG, I think OPG is terrible, but I keep that up just because at least it's ponies, you know. I never go into it. I went into it like once or twice. Like, holy cow. I don't know. I don't want to start any fights or something, but like, man, OPG, like I've just heard the worst things about that subcommunity. Okay, let me get into another tangent. The thing about the board, like you can get mad at people for like, oh, you're only. Okay, this is an audience thing. Get it. You can get mad at people for like, oh, you're only on the board for the OPG threads, or you're only on the board for the TF2 threads, or you're not really a slash MLP or a normal person or whatever. But like, here's the thing: the board is just this big. It's this like meeting point of a bunch of different communities, and a lot of people in those communities are just content to stick to those communities. I mean, like, how many, like someone was saying earlier, like, yeah, open the catalog, refresh it, scroll through everything, and then like move on. There are a lot of us. I would be willing to bet that a lot of us you're only on the board for the SS threads. Yeah, that's another thing, and that is something that people can get annoyed at. But like I said, so it's this gathering place, like a meeting thing. As an OPG user, it's a dumpster fire a lot of the times. You're saving yourself by not browsing regularly. And I mean, to get like 500 threads in like 2 years, there's gotta be some drama going on, you know? Like people aren't discussing Second Life that much. They're discussing the drama in the community. I've only checked it like once or twice, but I'm willing to bet that's what goes on in those threads. It's the same with the TF2 threads. Yeah, I mean, you know, there was freaking whoever the name tag was at the towards the start of it, and they were like freaking out, and they were like the worst person ever. Oh no, Goku. That was later on. All right. But yeah. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah. So the board's just this like it's this middle point of the Venn diagram. There are not. I really don't think there are enough. There like I think one thing we could do better at is trying to bring people together and connect those communities. That's I mean, I think a cool thing to do with like slash MLPCon is go and really try to encourage all of these sub communities to go and like participate in it. Like even though I mean, it might be like, yeah, the OPG panel cursed its general. Oh, the panel cursed the general. That's interesting. More hair on my chest than perps. Yeah, I don't have a very hairy chest. I'll be honest. What's OPG? It's the Second Life My Little Pony. It's the Second Life general on the board. I'm gonna take a load off a little bit. Gonna loosen up. All right. So, but anyway, yeah. At the same time, I think some communities are a bit better off staying separate. I don't think we need everyone from the Secret Santa threads to be everywhere. But I think you just gotta kind of cope with it, because I mean they're oh yeah, raise those dukes, put them up. They have to go back. I don't know, like I mean, it's fine, you know, like there are like you know there are people in the TF2 thread, people in the gaming thread that don't check anything, don't do anything, but like who cares, you know? Just they're helping someone else that's genuine, have fun. So you know, whatever. Can you do the thug shaker? You have 1 hour left. Thanks for the heads up. Wait. Okay. What's your BMI? I don't freaking know. I've been like the same weight for like the past like 5 years. Why did you have to read that? OPG is a containment thread, and I'm willing to sacrifice one thread slot for them. Yeah, okay. Most TF2 players do not read the thread. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, and that's another. So yeah, the stuff is kind of funny. Yeah. Who is your second sexiest mare with the umphiest butt? I mean, my favorites would be first Twilight, then Cherry Berry. It's in flux, though. I mean, I think now Roseluck has a special place in my heart, of course. It's getting closer. Who is your favorite filly? Either Sweetie Belle or Noi, just because Algo. Are you MLP's Germa? I wish, man. I friggin' wish. Plots are not a board project. You are correct. You are correct. You get a numget. Back to the thing. All right. I think I was gonna talk a little bit about being the OP of a thread and stuff. One thing I do want to mention that might be pertinent later is rules. So someone pointed this out to me, and I actually never bothered to double check it. That at the latest town hall that happened, the latest town hall thread that was made by Twymod that happened like forever ago. He said one of the things that they said was that rules in the OP of a thread can be enforced by moderators. So, what does that mean? That means if you are making a board, okay, and we're kind of scooting forward a little bit, but if you're making a board project, make sure you have rules in the OP so that you can do stuff. Well, like no drama, or like define what's drama or what's off topic. And yeah, so like for example, the bail thread, I had like, saying that arguing about someone being too good for bail or whatever is off topic, it's bait, and it should be ignored. And then someone comes in and starts doing exactly that, and I tested it out, reported it to the Jannies, and yeah, it worked. Maricon. I was running Maricon in February, and I think Jannies generally have a little bit. They can have a little bit more than half a brain cell. So I have my trip that I made the thread with. We're like halfway through the last planning thread when the con starts. I didn't want it to start on a planning thread. I wanted a new thread so that people knew what was going on. I had a new flashy picture to grab people's attention. And so I posted the new thread and then reported the old one. And I hoped that they'd be able to put two and two together, see my IP in both of them, the trip and stuff. And I reported the other one for spam, and they did. They just took it off and let the new thread continue, and we're great. So yeah, it's hard because you can't really have. I mean, the only way is to kind of mess around, fiddle around and find out or whatever. But yeah. Keep that in mind if you're doing something like that, because that kind of stuff can be pretty helpful. Because yeah, we'll get to more stuff like that in a bit. Anyway, board projects. Board projects are run by the board. The two like big defining factors of a board project in my mind are that they are run by the board. They're run by the board, and it has anonymous contributors. Sorry, I'm trying to. You guys are probably saying a lot that I'm missing. I'm sorry. Blur get okay. Oh, is it blurred? Oh well, there are like two things on there. You're fine. You're fine. Whatever. MLP is probably the board with the most projects these days. Yeah, probably. When are you starting the Croc General? I'll have 45 minutes left. All right. Thanks for the time check. I don't have that much content to go over, but 40. Okay. But yeah, we'll move it along. Oh yeah, you're right. It is. We are kind of like halfway through. Makes a thread where a rule specifies all rules suggested in the thread are law. Oh, that's kind of fun. I have 2 minutes left. No. Okay. Board projects are run by the board, have anonymous contributors. So, in an ideal world, in a perfect world, the perfect 4chan project would not need a leader. It would not need someone to name tag and step up and run things. It would just be everyone drops their contribution and we have it. That is exactly what a thread project is. But there are limitations to what you can do with a thread project. The big thing is when you're trying to organize anything bigger than a single drawing or a single collection of things, and sometimes even that collection has to be put together by someone. So, if you're looking at an example, the Anthology, that's one that I kind of wanted to talk about, and that's the big, example to look towards. But okay, another project. Okay, man, there's a lot. I should have organized my thoughts better. I have negative 10 minutes. Spend the last 5 minutes dancing. I don't think I'll have time to do that. I have 40 minutes left. There's so much to say. When money is needed, like for a silver coin project, you need someone trusted to manage things. Yeah, and so that's the big thing is someone to manage things. The silver coin project is one that I really wanted to bring up because you had a lot of people contributing anonymously, giving opinions and talking and stuff. And we learned a lot from that project. That was a huge undertaking. I wasn't one of the guys involved, but I talked to both the ones that were. And there is a reason they are taking a break indefinitely from doing that because it was a pain to put together and the end result was kind of a design by committee kind of thing. And so that leads me to the pros and cons of board projects. And yeah, this is all that I have on the slide. Go ahead and laugh at me. I have 90 minutes left. I have 17 hours left. I have 2 hours. Oh my goodness. Hold on. You guys are driving me to drink. Filtrum spot. No, don't leak pictures of my Filtrum. Fun fact. Someone made a WikiFeet article for me. I think it got three out of 5 stars, or no, my feet got 3 out of 5 stars, and then the article got taken down or like deleted or something. You need an IMDb credit to create a WikiFeets page, so they made an IMDb page for the Merrifair intro animation. I didn't do anything for that, so it was just totally bogus. What is WikiFeet? My sweet summer child. Don't look it up. Just it's exactly what it sounds like. That's all I'll say. Don't go on a tangent about WikiFeet. Too late. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. No more WikiFeet. We're not talking. Okay. Anyway, pros and cons of board projects. And I wanted to, I have so much, I could ramble about this for a long time. I could ramble about a lot of things for a long time. So-called free thinkers when the numget button is pressed. Yo, let's see that free thinking. Haha. All right. What were we talking about? What's going on? Oh, I was going to read something from someone who's worked on the anthology, on the past 3 anthologies. Or no, on all of the anthologies. All right, cool it with the numget posting. And let me switch to camera 1. I don't have the cameras named. So that's bogus. Anyway, sorry, burps. Burp. All right. So I asked this person about, and let me know if you want credit. I'll just assume not, unless I hear otherwise. But and you'll know who you are. But so I asked him about highs and lows and pros and cons of working on the anthology and board projects in generals. Don't link my WikiFeet page. All right. So, pros of a board project is that by being an anonymous board project, you don't have people participating just to be e-celebs. If they're submitting stuff, it's just to participate or have fun, or it should be at least. That's a big thing that I think is really important. There's 3 out of this perp's wiki feet page of orientation Friday. Oh no, it's not. It's the board project. I'm so careful about. Okay, anyway, yeah, it was more Maris Please that that said all this. He's worked on anthologies since the first one, contributed to them, but that is a big boon, I think, of board projects, is that the content and the contributions stand for themselves instead of who submitted them. And I think that's how it should be. I think that is an admirable quality of board projects, and equally, yeah. Anyway, let me read some more about what he had to say. Some lows are seeing submissions get cut out or cut down without reason, which happens often enough, unfortunately. Sometimes the editors have made some really stupid decisions, but it's not entirely their fault. Sometimes you have to make a decision at the end of the project when there's no time left to consult the thread, though they should err on the side of caution and include not cut submissions in the spirit of the original idea of the ante. Joe Biden wasn't as disoriented as Perp was starting this fail. Sleepy Perp. Highs have been watching the premiere with everyone. Yeah, include more and cut less. So that's the thing that I have a few qualms with the current editor, or with this year's editor. I think he got better, but I think there's some important lessons that I hope he learned or will learn if he continues to be the editor for next year. But that's the thing about board projects, is you have to choose between including everyone and quality control. And quality control is not an option, unfortunately, because that kind of defeats the whole purpose. I don't know, and it's like, if you are going to do quality control, it has to be a unanimous thing. There can't be one guy deciding that. It's not your project; it's the board's project. All right, we've all got to talk about it and do it. And that's another hard thing, is about leadership for these projects, is it's oftentimes not distributed enough. A lot of times it's just one guy, because it's this thing, the bystander effect. I've talked about this before. If you don't ask someone, if you don't tell someone or ask them like, hey, do this, or can you do this? If you're just like, hey, this needs to be done, someone do it. Guess who's gonna do it? Nobody. You want to know why the freaking poll and the HLVRAIMLP panel? And sorry, I'm not trying to call anyone out. You guys are awesome. It's a problem that I saw coming from a mile away, and I should have addressed it sooner. It was the bystander effect. I'm like, okay, someone make the poll. Somebody make the poll. And everyone was just like, are you going to do it? I'm not. We should have like told someone before, like, you're making the poll, be ready to go then. And yeah, I mean, it's like, we could have figured it out, but yeah, anyway. 30 minutes left. Okay, let me talk to you a little bit about let me talk to you a little bit about some stuff. Let me look. I need to. So let me break into the leadership theory part of it. So leadership is a phenomena that has 3 parts. That is made up of 3 parts. the leader the follower or followers plural. You can see this, right? And the situation. You can hardly see it, I think. Tron Numget. Okay. That calls for a Numget.
Numget.
All right, so look at all these people. Look at these people freaking out in the chat. Oh no! There's such a mix of emotions. Things are going high. Like, oh, you're writing on your screen. Oh, you drew Numget. Oh, you pressed the Numget button. Everyone is freaking out. Holy crap! What's going on? I've never seen chat like this before. All right. Anyway, yeah, I wrote on my screen. 3D animators do it too. There was like a Valve tutorial for how to animate, and they were like drawing keyframes on their screen. It erases it. It's fine. Calm down, you baby. And if it doesn't, that'll be funny at least. I'll tell the story. So leadership, leaders, followers, and the situation. All of the intersection of these is what matter. You can have. And so we got to analyze what's going on here. The things we're stuck with. Followers are anons on 4chan. The situation we're dealing with is a board project where we have to keep quality control low, or at least distributed, and we have to keep quality control low, maintain anonymity, and not resort to outside methods of organization or communication as much as possible. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but again, we'll get to that. That's in the future. So, the leader is the one factor of this that can change. You can have someone be an amazing leader, but if they're not the leader that's the right fit for the followers or the situation, it's not going to work out. So, as a leader of a board project, you gotta keep in mind who you're leading and what the situation is, what standards you need to uphold. We need Twyfag to lead. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the rub, isn't it? Anyway, so that sounds kind of hard. And believe me, it is hard. It limits you a lot, keeping to those things. Like, we'll never have a perfect anthology because a Dungus McGee can come in and make like the stupidest, most retarded clips ever, and they'll still get in. Although that is pretty funny. But it's like, that's not what it's about. It's not about making the perfect anthology. No, finally cultivating these videos to put together and make like the perfect video compilation. It's about getting together as a board and making something cool together, you know? And because of that, I saw someone in the anthology thread that's like, oh man, next year if I plan it right, I can contribute over an hour of content to the anthology. Don't do that, maybe. I mean, that's impossible to enforce because we're anonymous, and that's how it should stay. But, yeah, just like it's not the editor's project, it's not your project either. I'd much rather have 100 people submit one clip than 50 people submit 20 clips. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. I just that seems a little bit overboard. We don't need. It's not bigger the better for the anthology. We don't need 3-hour runtimes. Just make what you think is funny. Make what you think is good. Maybe just put a little more effort than usual into your other ones. I wouldn't go. Anyway, that's a tangent. That's a tangent. Let me sit down again. I'm getting a little lightheaded. Getting a little lightheaded, fellas. What are you guys talking about? 9-hour anthology. 30 minutes of live action bullcrap. Okay, where are we at? Expectations. Okay, board adjacent projects. So board adjacent projects are projects that are organized externally, but run on the board. Well, not run on the board, but they have a thread. Their target audience is /MLP, but it's not like the board deciding on everything that happens. As an experiment, Americon was here. I gotta switch to this one. I only have 5 hours left. No. What is your 23andMe DNA? I have to poop in 10 minutes. Just take your computer to the bathroom. I don't know. Pull it up on your phone. Go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. All right. Anyway, is that in a non-numget? Okay. Yeah, keeping track of time. 20 minutes left. Oh, that rose looking. Oh man, dude. Rose luck. Anyway, which mare besides Milky would produce the most milk when working on a board project? This is important. What? Look, I don't have that many panels. We're at a good pace. You're overestimating how much I have like set in stone prepared for this. But like I said, it's got to be one panel's got to be the scapegoat for the rest to be great. Legitimate question: when it comes to leadership on the board, how does it come to be that certain people become leaders? It seems that only those who go non become leaders. That's literally my next slide. I'll be right back to that. That's a good question. So board adjacent projects. As a kind of experiment, I took over Americon, which is the other online con that's in February, and I had a couple ideas that I wanted to see how they would work. And one of them was transitioning from being a board run project to a board adjacent project. And I said that at closing ceremonies, and I think a couple people misunderstood what I meant. It wasn't like all that I mean by that, all that was meant to allow me to do is let one person have the deciding choice on like everything that was actually happening. So some kind of quality control, like we were saying earlier. So, because I thought the point of Americon was supposed to be the board run. That was the starting point. That was the starting reason of it, but it died. It died like twice, and I took the name and took the con instead of just making a new con because I thought that would be dumb to have it change names like a third time or something. Yeah, some projects need stronger leadership and just need someone to make the final decision. That's what I thought. Again, it was an experiment to see what would happen. I ran a lot of stuff because I had a vision for it and I wanted to see it happen. And the other part of it was the mitigating the bystander effect, going out and telling people, "Hey, this should be done. Do you want to do this?" But like a lot of it was still done through the thread. I got everyone that showed up to Americon HQ. They were all people that just saw the post in the thread and came there. They're like, "Oh, it's just Perp and his friends jerking each other off." I did not know those people. I didn't know Frenchie. I didn't know Pukey. I didn't know Bonnie until I had minor interactions with them at like Mare Fair and stuff. But I did not know them until we showed up at that house together. And trusting and on, it worked out great. There are plenty of stories I could tell about that, but next slide. All right, yeah. So yeah, Americon is an example of a board adjacent project. And yeah, take that as you will. I still am going to take input from the thread. This next year, I don't want it to be all me. I want to kind of get people together, put people in charge of things. And I still want to use, I mean, like, it's not going to separate from the thread. I mean, without /MLP, it wouldn't be alive at all. But anyway, let's move on to the next. The necessity of the name fag. So this is what someone asked earlier. Is how does here? Okay, look at this, guys. Look at this. Calm down. Just wipes right off. Amazing. With a little bit of tissue. Huh? You can stop crying now, okay? Anyway, the necessity of the name tag. So, there are a few reasons why someone running or organizing a board project should be a name tag. And what I mean by a name tag is just someone who uses a name or a trip. I'm going to use it for trip fag too. Someone that uses one of those in their posts while they're organizing or leading a project. There are a few reasons for that. One, it makes it a million times easier to go through the archives and see what you're doing and what you're saying. All of the relevant, important stuff. Two, it's accountability. It's like, yeah, like, you know, it's this stuff because like, oh yeah, everyone should be anonymous, and the leader of a project shouldn't have any higher input or control than anyone else. It should be everyone's project. So, but I mean, it's the accountability that goes in there. It's like, yeah, the way I see it, and again, this is just up to me. The way I see it, you should be held accountable for what you do, and you should report what you're doing in regards to the project. The editor for this year's anthology had the right idea with the flag, but that's not great for archival. That's not great for looking up stuff. So yeah, please use a name or a trip when you're doing it. And there is, yeah, like Corp said, when there's money involved, it's a necessity. How much time do we have? Okay. It's a necessity to have someone that you can trust there when there's money involved, and like someone that has a reputation behind them. And that might be a little bit hard to get, but you know, you don't need to use a name all the time, and you really shouldn't. But when it's relevant to what is going on, to organizational leadership stuff, you should keep an eye on it. Or no, you should use a name so that people can keep track of it. You should not use a name for jerking off and just being an annoying faggot in threads. Anyway, I don't know if that really answered the question, but let's move on. How do you start a project? I'm doing a bad job at incorporating the other two people that I asked for input. The next one will be in the next slide, but I'll read the other one right now. How do you start a project? There's a really funny example in the thread. I'm pretty sure it's all ironic, but there's a thread that's up right now, or it was up like a couple days ago, where there's a guy that's talking about the Large Hadron Collider and how he wants to restart MLP, restart Generation 4 with people from the board, and he's just being like really like, way in over his head, like comically over his head. You got to kind of be realistic, and the best example of this is the Silver Coin thread. So Lunar Harmony and Wolven were the ones running the project, and that's because they both had a history with shipping and doing similar projects in the past. Like Wolven was involved in mass-produced pony plushies, and Lunar has sent out like a metric crap load of horse stuff, mare stuff through Secret Santas, through Secret Santa mass mailing. So they were great choices. And what the guy that started the project did was he put up a thread, said, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did a silver coin project?" And then he we totally have everything that we could do to do it, and we can have Wolven and Lunar lead it, and they'll be great. And they're like, "Oh yeah," and then Lunar and Wolven caught wind or heard or came to the thread, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we can do this. That seems like we can do this." And he's like, "All right, cool." And he just pieced out. He was gone. The original organizer, he just disappeared. And from there, it was Lunar and Wolven that ran the show. And I think to this day, they have no idea who that was. But we got the silver coins. It happened. So I mean, sometimes it's really just getting the right people together. HLVR AI MLP. I don't know if I'd count that as boarded. I would maybe count that as like a board adjacent project, right? Without Cider and Twigga, that project would not have happened. And that I didn't disappear right after it happened. I don't think it would have happened if I disappeared. But like, get people involved that will help. And that goes with the bystander thing. Call people out, say like, "Hey, you," and you got make some friends, talk to people about it, and then throw up a project. Now, so maybe that's more board adjacent project stuff, but board projects, I mean, just don't sound like a total nincompoop. Have like half a semblance. Know what you're saying. Think through it a little bit. But just go for it. Post the thread. Put like a good idea out there. Don't get in over your head, and you should be good. And that leads me to what I want to read for one of these. One of the people that I asked had some very insightful comments. And I'm just going to go ahead and read the whole thing. Oh, crap. This is hard to read. Okay. How can I? Okay, that'll work. Okay. So he said, I'm going to have to disappoint everyone by saying there really aren't any shining nuggets of wisdom or grandmaster plans for success in board projects. Rather, there are a set of very simple points and guidelines to getting things done that apply to basically any project, board or otherwise. Projects often have grand goals and ideas, so we may end up thinking that the journey also needs to be equally grand, but the process of actually making these things happen is comparatively mundane. Remember that the coin project took like forever. The changing the logo for the 4chan Cup when they got their first star, when we got our first star, took like there's that picture of like took like several days, tons of threads, and we only got just the one star right in the obvious place. Yeah, anyway. For sure there will be a few things unique to the anonymous mayor-centric nature of board projects, but it all really boils down to a few simple points. These being the drive to see a vision and take action to fulfill it, along with a willingness to accept help from others. Additionally, good use of goals and milestones and the ability to remain focused on them. And that's really about it for the fundamentals. In a bit more detail, draw on the expertise of others, but do not expect them to do everything or indeed anything for you. Projects require action, and if you want to see the goals realized, you are going to need to step up and do something. Make sure the project has a clear goal or goals and keep them smart, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-specific. As best as you can, ignore distractions. This includes your typical bullshit drama, but also people trying to prematurely expand the scope of the project. You need to build the foundations first before you can build the house. And this is something that that the first contributor, More Mares Please, also brought up that I think I neglected to say. One of the biggest cons of board projects is that people can get so distracted by drama, which is why having those rules in place is important to be able to quell it, or, you know, whatever, to be able to take action against it in some form. But drama that's a huge con for these. You really gotta, you gotta watch out for drama. Anyway, what are you guys saying? Visual novel projects always died to write fact drama. Oh, and that's another thing I wanted to bring up is the Do or Dear project, the infamous Do or Dear project that got it died. They were gonna create and animate an episode of My Little Pony that was like a scrapped idea that Faust had, involving a deer that a pony that thought it was a deer. But don't worry, I won't forget my third person. It died because they took the project off board onto a Discord server, and yeah, I won't spend any more time talking about that because I have to finish this and go on to our last thing. Okay, especially in the early stages, keep goals narrow, specific, and simple. Don't try to plan everything out at the start. It's impossible to account for everything, and you may well just talk yourself out of it. Instead, just have an idea of those goals and milestones, using them to keep the project focused and maintain motivation. Once your goals are in place, just do it. Get started. Do something. Anything useful that is. Anything useful that is. The hardest part of any project is crossing the starting line. It's like lifting or running. The hardest part is actually going to the gym or putting on your shoes or actually taking the first step of the run. Once you're on, even with what you may see as a small action, you'll have momentum on your side and the next steps will appear. And that goes for individual projects as much as like board projects. And that's really it. Disappointingly and underwhelmingly simple perhaps, but simple nonetheless. Where we often fumble is not in the act of the execution, but rather never getting going in the first place. The board has, and that's the visual novel stuff that someone was just talking about. The board has a huge appetite for projects and a willingness to make them happen. Therefore, any good mayor idea has a decent shot at gaining traction, but you won't get that traction without effort. So as my last word, I say to you, don't just ride on the ride. At least every once in a while, you need to get out and push. Thank you, anonymous contributor. I don't know you want me to credit you. I don't know if you're here in the chat. But yeah, very wise words. It did hit hard. It's really good stuff. I promised to talk about AI mirrors. Did I? I'm sorry. I think we're out of time. I only have 2 hours left. Let me and to end. Let's end with how to contribute. How am I on the right screen? Yeah, I am. How to contribute. How to I put my text thing right over the OBS preview. Okay. How to contribute. How to be a part of board projects. I've never done it before, or I don't know, just like doing this thing. And I think my last contributor had something that I really wanted to share. That it might go a bit in or out of that, but yeah. Anyway. Oh, this is a lot. Okay, bear with me. Bear with me. I'm going to read this. I'm going to try to go fast. We might go a little bit over, but yeah. So, and this is from our. Oh wait, I need to switch the thing. Okay. So he says, I've been in a number of projects, mostly as a contributor. I've submitted entries for the anthologies, redubs, and several MLPCon and Marecon panels in the past. Additionally, I've done a lot. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll skip over that part. He talks about board adjacent projects that he was part of. The key to keeping on top of it all, from my perspective, is organization. Well, yeah, he talks about he's done a large volume of artwork for Marefair, both assigned and voluntary. The key to keeping on top of it all, from my perspective, is organization. I typically keep several spreadsheets tracking my active projects and artworks with deadlines and highlighting rules to help me notice when deadlines are approaching, and highlighting rules to help me notice when they're approaching. All of my project files are strictly organized into per project folders, and this means that that I know when deadlines are coming, and I know when we need to go to work on something. I've been in crunch mode for the past effectively 3 to 4 months, drawing about 4 hours a day on average to keep on top of it all. You probably know who this person is by now, if you know anything about this person. But I think one of the most important things is to know your limits and not bite off more than you can chew. So many rookie creators at all levels and scopes will often try to take on more than they can handle. You need to work up to being able to do lots at once, build a system and resistance to it. Otherwise, you will likely end up not getting anything done, and even if you do somehow get through it all, it's likely to burn you out. Regarding the board and board projects, I think it's important to engage regardless of your skill level. You don't need to be a master video editor to make something funny for the anthology. You don't need to be an expert audio engineer to be able to patch together a funny clip for the redub. Working on board projects is a good way of learning these skills. And I'll say, like, I use my anthology clips as an excuse to learn different software or try things out. Having that deadline and having that people to help me out really helps me get it done. Anyway, I'm sorry. Let me get back. Working on board projects is a good way of learning these skills, as the vast majority of your peers here are in a similar position. We're just a bunch of guys having fun and making nice stuff for ponies. And if you do happen to get good at something, even better. It'll help encourage more people to get involved with these projects. At the end of the day, as long as you put in effort to make the content as good as you can for your skill level, people will enjoy it. Words of wisdom. Should you ever find yourself in a leading role, try not to force any sort of agenda with your work. Be the team leader and organizer, but allow the Anons to be your partners. We're all in this together, and we should all try to get along and not fight over pointless things. Listen to their feedback, let them know when you're straying too far from the project's goal, and remember to thank your comrades. This is coming from a position as a contributor, not a leader. Just some observations I made. All right. And that's all the time that we have today. I have to go back to playing Animal Crossing New Leaf on my Nintendo 3DS. Bye. No, I'm just kidding. I'll do a send off a bit better than that. Thanks a ton for showing up to this panel. It might not have been the most fun or focused or prepared, but just stuff I've wanted to talk about for a while, and I've got so much more that I'd love to rant about. If you have any questions or want to talk about it more, feel free to shoot me a message here on the SciTube or somewhere else. And hi guys, and yeah, maybe there's a panel room at Merfair that's like it fits like 20 or 30 people or something. Like it's tiny. Maybe I should just do a perp rant there. Like reserve it for like 4 hours and just in the middle of the night, just like, and he's yeah, but I'm really passionate about this stuff. I have a lot that I could say about it, but I'll end it here. Thanks a ton for everyone who helped out. And yeah, I'll see you guys later.